All right, welcome to lesson 1 from howtoreadmusicnotes.org. That's right. Here we are, lesson 1. I'm going to be giving you lesson by lesson everything you need to know to read music. All the information you need. So if this is what your face looks like when you look at a piece of music like that, don't worry. I'm going to help you with that. Step by step, lesson by lesson, for free. You're going to get it all. Yeah, just wait till those fat cats in Washington hear that. Giving away stuff for free. Holy crap. I don't know what's going to happen. So you should be looking confused, actually, if you ever saw a piece of music like this, because it's impossible to play. It's kind of a joke. It's an internet gag, right? This thing is just impossibly difficult. It doesn't make any sense. So don't sweat it. I mean, this part would be pretty easy here. We see sleep for 2 bars. I think any one of us can handle that, right? All right, so let's get into lesson 1. But before we do, a little joke. You know, guitar players are notoriously loud, right? Especially electric guitar players. And so how do you get them to turn down? You put a piece of sheet music in front of them, because we're also notoriously bad sheet music readers. Anyway, I can say that because I am a guitar player. So let's get on with it. We got about 10 minutes, I think, that YouTube will let me upload. So let's get on. Here we go. First thing you're going to see on a piece of sheet music is this staff, right? We got our 5 lines here, 4 spaces in between the lines. And this is what makes up the staff normally. You will see sometimes a staff with fewer lines, maybe even more lines. It's pretty rare, though. The ones with fewer lines are usually for percussion or some other specialized instrument. You know, in new music, things like that, you'll see something a little more out of the ordinary. But for the most part, this is what you're going to see. Now, that doesn't tell us much as is, right? We need more information there because that really doesn't tell us anything. So at the beginning of the staff here, this is going to let us know what kind of pitches we're going to be reading, or what they should sound like. So we have 2 clefs here, the treble and the bass, right? There are more different types of clefs, but for the most part, we're going to be good knowing these 2. I think you'll get by, like, 90% of the time, maybe even more, with just these 2. You've probably seen these symbols before, right? If you've been around on your stereo system, you would have seen these. We see this symbol here, the treble clef, on the high EQ, say, of your stereo system, and this bass clef here would be on a symbol for the bass EQ. What it means in music is that the treble clef will let us know that the notes on the staff will be higher pitched, and the bass clef indicates that the notes we will be hearing are lower pitched. So for the treble clef, instruments written for the treble clef in the treble clef would be things like flute, guitar, oboe, female voice, soprano, things like that. And the bass clef will have things like bass guitar, we'll have cello, we'll have, the double bass, bassoon, things like that. Lower sounding instruments. So it's quite simple. Treble, bass, high, low. Also, in piano, the right hand will be written in the treble clef usually. The left hand will be written in the bass clef, right? And as you can imagine, the piano, it happens very naturally, right? The right hand is on the upper keys. The left hand is on the lower keys. Left hand, bass clef. Right hand, treble clef. Is that 100% of the time? No, not always. Sometimes there'll be some exception, right? So I don't want you saying, coming back here and saying, oh, it's not right, it's not right. I know that the left hand can play in the treble clef. It's true, it can happen, but it's rare. It's rare, so you won't have to worry about that for a long time. So guitar players, you only need to know treble clef, right? Piano players, you got to know both. So learn them. Which brings us to the notes. What are the notes? Look at that. Zoom right in there. 3D effect. All for free. You got it here. All for free. 3D. All its high res glory here. So you probably remember this from grade school. We got every good boy deserves fudge, right? EGBDF. That's our little mnemonic, our memory trick for memorizing the lines of the treble clef and mnemonic. Yeah, I dropped a 3-syllable word on you. That's right. Trust me, it doesn't get any more difficult than that. And the spaces here, we got F-A-C-E, face, right? Yeah, and before we look at that, the names of the notes, right? It goes from A to G. That's it. That's it. A to G, and then repeats over and over and over again. There is no note H. There is such thing as the brown note, I've heard, but that does not show up on any clef. So Google it if you need to know what the brown note is. All right. So we can see here that just going up the clef, the staff here, we got E, F, G. Then we start over again, right? At A, B, C, D, E, F. The next note would be a G. You guessed it, right? And that would actually fall right here in this imaginary space above the top line, right? If we were to continue upwards. And we can continue upwards. That's a very normal thing to do. And we do that by using ledger lines. So the G would just kind of sit right there. The next note up would be, of course, an A, right? We're starting over the sequence again. And that would have one ledger line through it, which would basically be a continuation of these lines above the staff. But you wouldn't see it running all the way through. It would just be right through the note head. Very simple. So there you go. You're going to have to know these names. So you got to memorize them. These mnemonics, you know, will help you memorize the names. Every good boy deserves fudge and face. I'll develop something to help you learn the notes easily and quickly on the website very, very soon. So check back. howtoreadmusicnotes.org will make it really fast, easy, and fun for you. That's another impossible piece of music, so don't worry about that. Bass clef. Here we go. Let's go zoom. Yeah. Same thing with the bass clef here, except the bottom line here is a G. All right. Just to make things a little more difficult, it's not the same as the treble clef. It's a little bit different. But we can use the same kind of mnemonic device. Good boys deserve fudge always. And all cows eat grass. A-C-E-G. Put them all together. What do you get? Well, we're starting on G. The pattern starts over again at A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Guess what would be sitting on that imaginary space right there? It would be a B. Yep, just continuing up the scale. The first ledger line, right, would be a C. There you go. Easy as pie. Remember those sayings for both clefs. Now, when we put those two clefs together, as they always appear in piano music, we'll see. Let's do this zoom thing again here. Yes, coming right at you. We'll see that they fit seamlessly together. Treble and bass clef. If we have a G here, A on that line, B in the first imaginary space, C on the first ledger line, right? But if we trace backwards from the treble clef, right, we have E here. First space below the staff would be a D. First note on the first ledger line down would be C. There you go. That's why the note names are the way they are. This note is called middle C, obviously, because it's in the middle of the two staffs. Super, super simple. Again, piano players, left hand would be reading down here, right hand would be reading up here. Yeah, there you go. Anything more to say about that? I don't know. There we go again. Middle C is smack in the middle of the two clefs. That's the way it works. Yeah, so we're going to work on this look, if this is the look that you got. And that will be it for this time. We'll see you next time. Lesson 2 at howtoreadmusicnotes.org. See you then.